whites to mix their seed with his chosen ones, Melaninite blacks. This is not racism, it is the Holy Bible. Genesis 27:46, then Genesis 18:1. So, according to the Holy Bible, the house of Israel were by no means to mix with the Canaanite Caucasian whites. This knowledge was passed down through generations, from father to son, and was an important commandment given by Elohim God. Genealogy was extremely sacred. Genesis 2:4. Since it linked Abraham's seed, to heaven. If the Israelites mixed their seed with someone outside of their seed of Israel, they were rejected. Ezra 2:59 through 62, Ezra 9:1 through and 2. Mixing your seed with the Canaanites made you unacceptable, as is Hebrew 1:2, to God's kingdom. Through the blood. As a result, certain families of Edomites, Mongoloids, and Romans in particularly hated Hiru Pameseh, Yeshua HaMashiach, Isa el-Masih, Jesus the Messiah Christ, for his statement. Four different languages, the names. Matthew 24:9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my sake. Isn't that happening on the streets of America to us blacks? Speaking. John 1:1. He came to his own. Matthew 10:5. He's speaking. Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and not into any city of the Samaritans. Enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Matthew 15:24. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Speaking. It is a fact that Yeshua HaMashiach, Hebrew, Isa el-Masih, Arabic, Jesus the Messiah, Greek or English, ignored a Caucasian, a Canaanite woman, whose daughter was grievously vexed or possessed by a demon. In Matthew 15:21 through 28, which reads, starting from verse 21, Then Jesus went thence and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. Note, Sidon was the firstborn son of Canaan, Genesis 10:15, making him and his town a land of Canaanites. Canaan was cursed, Genesis 9:25, and that curse was leprosy, making the skin white as snow, Leviticus 13:3 through 4, or albinism. Then, let's go to verse 22. Verse 22. And behold, a woman of Canaan And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coasts and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, curious Adonai, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously vexed with the devil. Note, this Canaanite woman came to Jesus telling him that her daughter is possessed with the devil. Verse 23. But he answered her not a word, and his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she crieth after us. Note, Yeshua did not answer her. He ignored her. And even the disciples were sending her away because she was crying after them, looking for the disciples to bless her daughter and heal her. So she believed any of these men could have helped her. Verse 24. But he answered and said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Note, Yeshua's answer to this Canaanite woman was that he was sent to the lost sheep of Israel, Judah, blacks. In other words, I did not come for you and your tribe, Canaanites, Gentiles. Yeshua specifically sought out after the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Do you follow? Are you listening, people? Thus, he rejected her. The book of Ezra 9:1-2 tells you that it is an abomination for the children of Israel who are black-skinned, nappy-headed to even mix their seed with Canaanite tribes who are white-skinned with straight fur. With straight fur. That's fur. That's not here. Now Matthew 15:26. Then she came and worshipped him, saying, Lord, curious Adonai, help me. Note, the Canaanite woman commenced to beg Jesus for his help. Now, Matthew 27. But he answered and said, It is not meet or right to take the children's bread and cast it to dogs. Jesus referred to this woman as a dog. But wait, notice how the woman answers Jesus in Matthew 15:27. And she said, Truth, Lord, curious Adonai, yet the dogs eat from the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Stop and think. The woman responds, Truth, Lord, meaning she knows that she is a Canaanite or classified by the Judahites called Jews in Yeshua's time as Goyim, Akumim, heathens, Gentiles, dogs, or canines, meaning an animal of the family Canidae, especially a dog, according to the American Heritage Dictionary. And knowing that, she is still willing to take whatever blessing she can get from him. And finally, verse 28. Then Jesus answered and said unto her, O woman, great is thy faith. be it unto thee as thou wilt. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. Note that right after Yeshua finishes with this woman, he goes into Galilee and begins to heal the multitude among his own people. Matthew 15, 29 through 31. Please read the quotes, people. Let's get it clear in our minds. So, he did pick and choose those to whom he was sent. Mint tea. So, as you can clearly see from this one passage, Jesus came only to a specific group of people, the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The cursed seed is not worthy of the blessings of Elionel, the Most High. Yeshua, Isa, Jesus' attitude towards the Canaanite woman bothered the Canaanites because the fear he could stir in the lost tribe of Judah, the Nazarites, the people of Galilee, who were all Negroid, black-skinned. They feared his involvement with revolutionists like Barnabas. So the Edomite, Edomian, red seed hated Yeshua, Jesus. Shaul, Paul admitted that he was from a family who hated Yeshua, Jesus the Messiah. Unquote. Are you listening, people? Now, it's time to examine this fact. Ham received no curse. Ham means burnt black skin. However, it was his son Canaan who was born an albino as a result of an abominable act, who received the curse of leprosy, Genesis 9, 18 through 22, which says, and Noah and the sons of Noah that went forth of the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And Ham, the father of Canaan, is the father of Canaan. These are the three sons of Noah, and of them was the whole earth overspread. And Noah began to be a husbandman, and he planted a vineyard, and he drank of the wine, and was drunken, and was uncovered within his tent. And Ham, the father of Canaan, saw the nakedness of his father, and he told his brethren without. You must note what is being said here. To know that Canaan was born in the ark, it says went forth of the ark. This means they came out of the ark, went forth. And Canaan's name is mentioned, which isn't, or why isn't all of Ham's sons mentioned? Genesis 10:6, like Cush, Ethiopia, Mizraim, Egypt, and Foot Libya. Why not give all the sons names? Canaan was born an albino, then got the curse of lust, leprosy. Why do we call it the curse of lust? He looked at his father's naked body. A forbidden act as stated in Leviticus 18:6 through 7, which says, none of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord Yahayu. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother thou shalt not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Now look at John 8:44. It says, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. The lust of your father. Now who are they, Canaanites? Now look at Genesis 10:19. And the border of the Canaanites were from Sidon. Let me repeat that. And the border of the Canaanites were from Sidon. That's where that Canaanite woman was from. And as thou goest to Gerar unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom and Gomorrah and Admah and Zeboim and unto Lasha. Who did the Canaanites become? Sodom and Gomorrah. And what kind of people are there in Sodom and Gomorrah? Genesis 13:12 through 13 will tell you. Abraham dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot in the city of the plain. And pitched his tent towards Sodom. And the men of Sodom were wicked and sinners before the Lord Yahayu exceedingly. Lot lived there in Sodom. Genesis 18:20 says, and the Lord Yahayu said, because the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is so grievous, the Canaanite Caucasians are evil sinners. Genesis 19:4 through 13. The Holy Bible tells us that when Elohim God is angry with you for going against his divine law, as in the case of Esau, as in the case of Esau, as in the case of Esau, who is cursed with what is known today as Down syndrome, he curses you through the genes. The white man originated from a curse that was placed on Ham's fourth son Canaan, meaning lowlander, Genesis 9:18. The Aramaic modern Hebrew word used for curse in Genesis 9:25 is Aurar, which means curse or cursed be he. Canaan was cursed because his father Ham looked upon his father Noah's nakedness, a sodomy act of the mind, lust. In Genesis 9:22, after the ark rested down on Mount Ararat, Noah planted a vineyard. Genesis 9:25. Noah was one of the first farmers, and because the flood destroyed all life from the face of the earth, the condition of his family was very critical. They consumed all their food supply and were on the brink of starvation. So Noah began to plant seeds and harvested the land, and in hopes that it would provide for them. Noah reaped the grapes he planted and made wine and drank it. In Genesis 9:21, it states, and I quote, "And he drank of the wine and was drunken, and he was uncovered in his tent." After having an argument with his wife Halima, Ham was in a weak state, which made it easy for the devil to take over or use his body. The devil, Azazel, Lucifer. Isaiah 14:12, son of Shachar, Samael, then possessed him. Yes, the devil as a spirit being, 2 Corinthians 11:14, can jump inside of a person, black or white, and you become a devil. John 13:3 and 13:37. While in his father's tent, Ham mocked his father's nakedness. Genesis 9:22. He then looked upon his father's nakedness with thoughts of sexuality called sodomy. See that word Sodom? See the name? Sodom and fornication. Leviticus 16:6 through 21 says, or 6 to 21, he did not have any kind of intercourse with his father. Leviticus 16:6. The Most High cursed Ham's fourth son, Canaan. All genetic change happens in the fourth seed. So Ham's wife, Halima, the daughter of Shukar, also called Euban, and Enoshite, and Anis, a Cuthite, was impregnated with a disagreeable seed from Ham when she entered the ark. So Canaan was born while in the ark, which was really an aircraft that hovered over the water during the flood. Canaan was cursed with the curse of lust and abominable acts of bestiality. Men with men, women with women, prostitution, and all kinds of lustful acts. The evil spirit of lust, sex, and fornication. The evil spirit of lust, sex, and fornication. This is their nature. Everything is seduction, lust, and lust. It's all about sex. Age 18, which is 3 times 6 equal 18. 6, 6, 6. The mark of this man, the beast, is lust. Revelation 13:18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding come the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, 666. Note, it is Revelation 13:18, and that is 18, 3 times 6. Canaan was to be a servant unto his brothers. Mint tea. Leprosy, a result of the curse. He is a disease and the father of diseases. All sexually transmitted curses come from Caucasians. Leprosy, Hansen's disease, or Ham's son disease, is a degenerative disease which leaves the skin pale and scabby, manifested in his genes from his father Ham and his mother Halima. The curse was a physical curse of leprosy called La'ana in the Syriac Arabic. Canaan was born pale and an albino. Canaan's skin lacked pigmentation and melanin, which is why he was pale. The Holy Torah gives various accounts of the signs, symbols, and different physical characteristics of leprosy. Leprosy affects the skin, the eyes, the mucous membrane, and the throat. Also, it affects the nervous system. One form of the disease is communicable and is caused by an organism called Microbacterium leprae, which produces glandular lesions in the affected areas. Canaan did not have the leprous form. Read Leviticus 13 and 14. You will see the stages changing from black to leper, or from black nappy hair to yellow thin hair, Leviticus 13:30 and 13:36, from black to white. The white race, Caucasoid, Caucasian, blush, meaning to become red in the face, and to become red in the face means a pigment or dye having a red hue. And rosy means having the characteristics of pink or red color of a rose. The word rosy has the same phonetics as the word rosacea, which is a chronic dermatitis of the face, especially of the nose and the cheeks, characterized by a red rosy coloration caused by dilation of capillaries and the appearance of acne-like pimples. When you add lep to the word rosacea, you get leprosy, which is a biblical curse or biblical disease of the Caucasian descendants. Right now on television, there are commercials where people are saying they have rosacea, and they don't know what it is or where it comes from. It is leprosy. In Torah, Leviticus 13:4 says, if the bright spot be white in the skin of the flesh, and inside be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be turned white, then the priest shall shut him up that hath the plague 7 days. If you look at the ancient Hebrew word in this quote for white, it is lauban, meaning white. The Holy Bible also describes blonde hair. The Holy Bible, Leviticus 13:30. Then the priest shall examine the disease, and if it appears deeper than the skin, and the hair in it is yellow and thin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is an itch, a leprosy of the head of the beard. In this quote, the ancient Hebrew word used for yellow is tasawube, meaning yellow, blonde hair, and how it was dak, meaning thin and fine. Neither of these words describe negroids with woolly hair. Make note that in Leviticus 13:31 through 37, it is clear that people with black hair are considered clean, and those with yellow blonde hair are unclean. When it becomes thin or straight, it is no longer hair. It becomes fur. You can read the entire chapter of Leviticus 13 and 14 for more details. Mint tea. Albinism is a hereditary condition in which an organism cannot produce pigment color. Only individuals with two albino genes have this disorder, father and mother. Albinism is the result of Canaan being born in the ark. With all the rain, he had no sunlight. Again, Canaan was born an albino. We have to repeat this over and over again so you understand. Canaan was born an albino and received the curse of lust that give birth to the pale race. Because of this, he was shunned and persecuted. He lacked the normal eye coloring, which caused his eyes to weaken and become sensitive to direct and indirect light. Sunlight, direct and indirect sunlight. The Noble's Quran 21:2, blue eyes. So you have white spotted skin or reddish scaly skin to white. And you have blue eyes and you have blonde hair. The Noble's Quran 21:2 says, on the day Judgment Day, in which the trumpet will be blown by the angel Raphael, we will gather the guilty Zurqan. We will gather the guilty Zurqan, which is Arabic for blue-eyed. True, through mixing their seed, they are no longer all blue-eyed, but some of the original descendants of Canaan were blue-eyed. And the Noble's Quran 21:2, the blue eyes are the gathering of the already guilty. The seed of the devil. The seed of the devil has no soul, and therefore is not written in the book of life of the Messiah's seed. Canaan took his sister and appointed wife, Salha, who was Negroid, and fled to the Caucasus Mountains and lived in the caves where the cold climate protected his skin from the hot sunlight, and darkness was favorable to his eyes. And this is why white people, pale-skinned people, Canaanite, cannot stay in the sun today without suntan lotion, sunscreen, or they get cancer. Unquote. That was Rabbi Yokel speaking. Here's an article taken from the Times Magazine, July 23rd, 1990. If you can't, people, pull it up and read it yourself. 30 years ago. This article is entitled "The Dark Side of Worshipping the Sun, Special Report Skin Cancer" by Leon, Leon Jaroff, Jaroff.